right, I got some heavy whipping cream
I would like to
here.
introduce our final
I've got
of the night,
some
Morris, with Caramel's Eats and Treats for our dessert. I'm going to turn it over to her to tell us a little bit about her story before she shows us what she made for us tonight.
Hello, everybody. I'm Maria with Caramel's Eats and Treats, and I guess my story. Oh, I can take my mask off. Okay, great. I guess my story kind of begins when I was a child. I always cooked with my dad, and I really think that's what started my love for cooking. As I got older, I went through a lot of hardships and things like that. I had a daughter. Her name was Carabelle, and I was like, I got to get my life on track, you know, for this little girl. And so I started going to culinary school, and I excelled. But midway through my second year, there was a house fire, and me and my daughter were in it, and she didn't make it. And after that, I spun out of control in drug addiction and alcohol. I was homeless for a long time, and I was eventually incarcerated, fighting a case, a violent charge connected to her death. And so I didn't have any money. I didn't have a lawyer and things like that, but I was told I need to plea. And so I was offered 20 years at first, and I prayed, and I said, God, if you get me out of this, I will never look back at that life. I'll never go back to that life. And as if he heard my prayers, I was welcomed into a program that took violent offenders, the only one in Oklahoma that does. And I excelled after that. I hit the ground running when I got into that program. I've been sober over 2 years, and I've just been building this business in her name, building this legacy in her name. And so that's what keeps me going. So can I get started? All right. So today I will be making a bundt cake. So I have one thing. The bundt cake that I had is in there. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry, y'all. As you can tell, this is my, first time. A little nervous. Thank y'all for being patient with me. So the bundt cake that I make everything from scratch with love. That's how my dad taught me. The bundt cake that I make, it's a mini cream cheese bundt cake. And so they'll be bringing that out in a second. I topped it off with a red Moscato strawberry sauce. And it has raspberries and blueberries in it. And strawberries, of course. Let me just get this stove started. Okay. Fancy. Fancy stuff up here. So I'm gonna get started by, I just grab this, bring it over here. I'm gonna get started by putting this mixture of, this is red Moscato, and thank you so much. This is red Moscato and sugar, just a white sugar that I just kind of mixed together. And I'm just gonna kind of put it in there. Let it simmer a little bit. Okay. So while that's going, and I just kind of bring that to a boil, and then I add these raspberries to it. Once it starts, And so the raspberries I started doing it a different way because the raspberries were breaking down in the sauce and I wasn't really liking the way it was looking. And so I just kind of later let the raspberries break down, do their thing, and then come back and strain them out. And then I add the blueberries and strawberries. So you still get all that good, juicy raspberry flavor. Now while that's getting started, I'm gonna come over here. I'm a little short, y'all, so everything's really up high for me. So this is a heavy whipping cream that I've mixed with a little bit of vanilla, and it's gonna be topped the strawberry shortcake's gonna be topped with a mint whipped cream. So I'm just gonna go ahead and load this one in there. Set that there. All right. Check and see how this is doing. Then I add a little bit of mace. Gives it a nice spice. And a very wise man who I met here at Lobeck Taylor at Kitchen 66 told me that it's really great with berries. So I listen sometimes. You know who you are. I listen sometimes. So we're gonna let that get going. I'm gonna go ahead and start this simple syrup that I use inside the whipped cream. It's gonna be infused with mint. So we're gonna have a little bit of water. And a little bit of mint. I'm just gonna kind of rough chop this mint a little bit so it can release all that good flavor. I'm gonna keep some of it though. There we go. All right. Now while that's getting going, basically what you're gonna end up with is this mint simple syrup. And so I'm just gonna add this to the whipped cream, to the heavy whipping cream. A little bit of powdered sugar. I'm going to siphon on some of this mint. And add it as well. There we go. Then I'm just going to turn this on the lowest one and let that get going. Let it all just blend in there together. I'm going to move this to a different one. I'm going to move this to this one. There we go. Turn that off. All right. And keep an eye on this. Kind of turn it to a medium speed now that it's all mixed together. And let that whip itself. And so what I basically come up with here is this bundt cake. And this is the sauce that I use. Just kind of drizzle it over. Keep letting that go for another minute or so. I'm just going to cut this. Use my little paring knife here. There we go. All right. I'm glad. Well, that's great. That's great because I'm messing up a whole lot up here. Thank you. Thank you. I like to have balance. I like sweets, but I don't like them too sweet. You know, I love flavor over everything. Thank you so much. And so that's about almost done there. Oh, let's go and check on this sauce. And I just love the smell of it. I'll just cook it because I love the smell. And then we're just gonna add the blueberries and the strawberries in it. Beautiful. All right. And this is just done. Da, 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 da. There we go. Boop. And we're just gonna put some mint on over the top of it. And, oh, and you can't forget these beautiful little edible flowers. I love how they look. Whoops. And there we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. I think the flour, I just asked Mark, can I eat the flour?
You can eat the flour. All the flowers are edible. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with us tonight, too. It's obviously very powerful, so we appreciate you being here. So I know you started cooking from a very young age. What was the first thing that you remember learning how to masterfully cook?
How to masterfully cook. I definitely remember on holidays, I would always ask I would call my father because he lived in Muskogee and I lived with my mom, and he would help me make apple pie from scratch over the phone. I mean, all the way down to the dough. And so I make a really good apple pie.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Many of us out here after this dessert would love to try that apple pie sometime.
All right.
So, Maria, I know you are building this business in honor of your little girl. What is one of your biggest culinary
Well, my company has a social impact mission. I want to hire women who have been involved in the justice system and give them a second chance because I feel like I was blessed with a second chance, and I just want to give that back because I know how much of a burden it is to try to get back on your feet after charges, especially certain ones. You can be labeled disqualified even when they don't necessarily say so. And so I really just want to give back to these women and let them know, hey, you're still productive, you're still valuable. You know, even if you've made a mistake in the past, that mistake isn't who you are. You can still do better. And so I hire women that are in transitional or rehabilitation programs. I'm sorry. I am. I have an Instagram. It's Carabelle's Eats, and then I'm also on Facebook, Maria Morris, and I have Carabelle's Eats and Treats on Facebook.
Can you spell Carabelle's?
Yeah, it's Carabelles, Eats and Treats. Of course.
I have a question for you back here.
Oh.
You know, having experienced profound grief myself and understanding the impact that it has on your life and how you have those, you know, those dips and those valleys and those lows.
Absolutely.
What was your daughter's favorite dish, and does it bring you joy to make it and a good memory for you?
Well, my daughter's favorite dish, actually, she loved my spaghetti, but she more than anything loved just ramen noodles. She would like slurp them, pick them up with her hand and slurp them through her fingers. And so those are some of my fondest memories of her.
All right, thank you so much, Maria. We appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.